Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about the Indian polity, one of the major topic in all the competitive exams. And from this we are going to discuss about the fundamental duties. Firstly, we are going to discuss about fundamental duties in this topic. Okay, now we should know what is meant by fundamental duty. And in general, we can say that it is the basic duty or the basic responsibility of every citizen of India to abide the constitution and respect its ideals. In this video series, I am going to explain about the Indian polity in English itself. Nowadays we can have the all the material that consist of Indian polity, which available in Telugu in YouTube series. But when we go with in English material, we have to search a lot for those videos. So now I'm able to do these videos by following the prescribed book, that is Indian Polity by Lakshmikant, and it's a MC Grahil education book. You can follow that book for the Indian polity. Okay, let us start our actual video. What is meant by fundamental right? This is the basic duty of an citizen. Basic duty or responsibility of an every citizen of India to abide by the constitution. To abide by the constitution. And respects its ideals. Okay, for example, we can say that respect the national flag or respect the national anthem. It is the one of the fundamental duty. Why we need the fundamental duties? We have the fundamental rights and all, but fundamental duties are the second side of the coin, because few people realize this. Therefore we can say that it becomes the necessary to the people who are aware about these duties towards the motherland or the fellow citizenship. That's why we need the fundamental duties. Where did the idea came from these derived fundamental duties? Let's have some more questioning about these things. Where did the idea come from? We think so the idea came from the fundamental duties, like early in the USSR. Afterwards, remaining countries, we have the 11 fundamental duties. We have 11 fundamental duties. We have 11 fundamental duties in our constitution. First, we have introduced the only 10 fundamental duties. Again, we have added one more fundamental duties according to the part 4 of the article 51A. These fundamental duties resides in the part in constitution part 4A and in the article 51A. Here all the fundamental duties are reside. Okay, the committee in 1976, the Swarajan Singh committee at the time of the PM Indira Gandhi, initially these committee recommended the 8 fundamental rights, but the government of the time included the 10 fundamental duties. So from there onwards we have the 10 fundamental duties. Afterwards we have added the one more fundamental duty, that is the fundamental duty 11. And when was let us consider when was the duties added in this constitution, means according to the 42nd amendment and the 86th amendment. In 42nd amendment we have added the in 42nd amendment we have added the 10 fundamental duties, and in 86th amendment we have added one more fundamental duties. That fundamental duty in 11 fundamental duty that we have added in 86th amendment is um, to provide the opportunities for the education by the parent or the guardian to the children of 16 to 14 years. That is the 11th fundamental duty which is added in the 2002 according to the 86th amendment. Okay, now let us consider the all fundamental duties. Fundamental duty 1. Fundamental duty 1. This is nothing but the to abide by the constitution, to abide by the constitution and respects its ideals and institutions, the national flag and national anthem. We have to respect the national flag and national anthem. I will give you the shortcuts to remember the fundamental duties. For the fundamental duty 1, we can give this is the patriotism. We can give the patriotism. I am giving these bullet points to remember. And let us consider the another thing. We can tell this as to cherish and follow the noble ideas which inspired our national struggle for the freedom. Second one, the celebration. We can simply say that to celebrate our freedom, the national struggle for freedom. And from second one we can see that it is to celebrate freedom. Next, fundamental duty 3. In fundamental duty 3, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, integrity and unity. Sovereignty, unity and integrity of the India. From this we can simply say union, unity and union. The shortcut to this is unity. Fundamental duty 4. In fundamental duty 4, we can discuss about to defend the country, and render national service called upon to do so. This is nothing but the fight for the nation. we have to fight for nation. This is the one more shortcut. Fundamental duty 5. In Fundamental Duty 5, we need to promote the harmony and the spirit of the common brotherhood among all the people of the India, transcending to the religious, linguistic, and language and uh, sectional diversities, to renounce the practices to degrade of the dignity of the woman. We can see that secular, moral, civil activities all can be known from this fundamental right. It is used to promote harmony and the spirit of the common brotherhood among all the people of India. All the people of India, those are transcending in religious, um, maybe religious practices, linguistic, it is nothing but the language considerations, and the regional or sectional diversities. Regional or sectional diversities in the sense they are they belongs to South India, they belongs to North India, they belongs to western part of the India, like this. To renounce the practice, those practices derogatory of the dignity of the woman, and we have to respect the woman. We have to respect the woman in this. We have to respect all the religions, linguistic, regional, etc. We have to respect all the people who belongs to India. And from this we can see that this fundamental duty tells about the secularism and moralism and the civic sense. Mostly the civic sense of a person can be decided by the dignity of the woman also, and the respect which who is giving to the other people who belongs to other religions, other linguistic people, or other region people. Fundamental Duty 6. In Fundamental Duty 6, we value and preserve the rich heritage of our composed culture, because in India we have the lots and lots of languages, we have the regions, we have the religions, and we can follow the particular we follow our culture, composite culture. It is a composite culture. We can't say that it is a one culture, but it is a composite culture. From this we can see that the culture is the shortcut for this fundamental duty. We have to preserve and we have to value our composite culture. Next, in Fundamental Duty 7, we have to protect and improve the national environment, including forests, rivers, wildlife, lakes, and to have compassion to living animals. This is also nothing but the civic sense. But previously we have discussed about the secularism, moralism, and civic sense. Overall harmony of the common brotherhood. But in this fundamental right, we can discuss about to protect and improve the national environment. We can protect and improve the national environment. Those national environment includes our rivers, forests, wildlife, etc. wild animals, rare trees, etc. And to have the compassion for, we have to passion for living animals. Living animals. We can see from this is the civic sense. Shortcut for this is civic sense. By seeing these words, we can remember the fundamental right. To remember the fundamental right, I am providing this material to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit for inquiry, and reform. This is nothing but the innovation. Towards our country, to improve our country, to develop our country in all aspects, to develop. Next fundamental right, fundamental duty, FD 9. It is used to safeguard the public properties and abjure the violence. Fundamental property 9 is nothing but to safeguard public properties which belongs to our country, which belongs to our people, which belongs to our government. All these public properties should be safeguarded by the each and every person. We need not to destroy those public properties. These belongs to all the people. From this we can see that we have to safeguard our national wealth. We need to safeguard our national wealth. Now we are going with the fundamental duty 10. FD 10. In fundamental duty 10, we need to strive towards our excellence in all the spheres of the individual and the collective activity, so that the national constantly rise until higher levels of the endeavor and achievements. This is nothing but the competence of the persons of an India. We can see that to strive towards the excellence in all spheres. To strive towards the excellence in all spheres. Individual and collective activities. From that, all the nation constantly rise. Nation constantly rise to higher levels. From this fundamental right, we can develop the competitiveness in all the Indians. Next, finally, the fundamental 11, which is included in the 2002 that is from the 86th amendment on the fundamental duties or non just all the fundamental duty. This is the final fundamental duty. It is used to provide the opportunities to the education, for education by the parent or the guardian, whoever it may be, whether it may be parent or the guardian to the child. Or a ward between the age of 16 to 14 years, as the case may be. From this, we can say that every children in between the 16 to 14 years need to have the education. This is the final fundamental duty which was added in the 2002 according to the 86th amendment. We can see that all the fundamental duties are the just non-justifiable, because if we don't follow these duties, you are not sanctionally legal. From these duties we can mention the penalty for the violation of these duties also. However, in the future, the government wants to bring the changes in the fundamental duties to have the element of the complexion regarding the compliances also. These duties are enumerated according to the Article 51A, that are saturated in the duties and enforcement by the law. The violation of these duties can't met with the punishments. Only the parliament can enforce it by the legislation. In these are these are the things about the fundamental duties. We can follow these fundamental duties in the educational institutions also. At the time of the Prime Minister Vajpayee in 1999, according to the Justice Verma Committee, the legal provisionals they have implemented these according to the legal provisionals. We can see that the Legal Provisional Act in 1950, these ambulances the improper for the prevention. This is about the prevention of the improper use of the national anthem. And according to the 1955 Protection of the Civil Rights Act, the Formerly Untouchability Offence Act, and according to the 1951 the Representation of the People Act, the soliciting for the vote. From all these we can say that the fundamental duties are the important to the every citizen. We need to follow these fundamental duties as the basic rules for the basic rules are the basic duty or the basic responsible for the every citizen who have lived in India. Thank you. That's all for today's topic. If you like this topic, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you once again.